Alright, hello guys, how's it going? In today's video, we're going to be talking about the upcoming pattern. Obviously, we're expecting some warmer than normal conditions starting the other day, and it's going to last about a week or more, but we're going to be talking about when that pattern could kind of reverse, and we could see some more fall-like weather return to the eastern and central United States. Anyways, before I get into this video, be sure to smash that like button, leave a comment down below, and subscribe for more weather-related content. For today's comment of the day, I want to know, when do you think we will have fall weather return? Let me know in the comments down below, and I'll be picking one of those for tomorrow's video. Let's get straight into this video, and first things first, we're taking a blast from the past, okay? We're going to be taking a look at how this September has gone so far, because we're technically getting very close to the halfway mark of September. We're at September 14th, and I don't exactly know how many days there is in September. Let's see, the 30. So we're one day away from the halfway mark. I can't even believe it, guys. I can't even believe we're that far into September. Can you? I mean, it has just flown by. And already, again, our low temperatures and our high temperatures are falling like a rock. That's what happens in September, and it accelerates as we head into October and late September, where your average temperature is going down by 1 degree every couple of days. So, these below normal temperatures in September 14th are very different than the below normal temperatures on September 30th. That's another thing to keep in mind. About a 5 degree difference or more, depending on your area. I mentioned this. Actually, AccuWeather is a really good resource on their monthly outlook to find out your average temperature. I don't like their monthly, their 90-day or whatever it is, daily outlook at all. I've talked about how that is literally impossible, and I have no idea what they're going based off of. But whatever it is, it's pretty much random and a wild guess, because it's one thing to forecast, like I do, like say, okay, the winter could look like this overall and forecast below or above normal temperatures. You can do that because that's not forecasting a very specific date. Now, it's much more difficult to even impossible to forecast, okay, December 1st is going to have 34-degree temperatures with some snow showers on September 14th. That's what AccuWeather tries to do, and that is literally impossible. We can't even forecast specific things like that even over a week out. So to try to do it 90 days out is absolutely ridiculous. But here is the past, well, 2 days. And as you can see, things have warmed up significantly after that 14-day period, because that 14-day period, we did have some colder than normal conditions in the eastern United States. Overall, the past 14 days have been a little bit cooler than normal for the eastern United States. It's been pleasant for the most part outside of the past few days. And here is the past 2 days, like I said, and look at how warm it's gotten. We see far above normal temperatures, especially there, basically from Colorado all the way to southern New England. You take it across those browns and those whites and tans and pinks. That is our far above normal temperatures. I would say 10 to 20 degrees above normal. It's been very hot these past 2 days. And that is going to continue as we take a look at the one-day outlooks. Here is September 14th today, according to the European model, and as you can see, warmer than normal conditions here for the northeastern United States and the southwestern United States. There is some cooler air up there for the northwest and the north central, and that's about it. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to move on. We're going to take this day by day and take a look at when this cool down should occur. We're going to use the European model and then switch to our CFS model, which is able to take us much further. Alright, now here we are taking a look at day 2, 15th, and as you can see, mostly warm for almost the entire United States, but especially there in the mid-Atlantic, the northeast, and then the southwest, where we get into those reds. That is where we're at about, I would say, 5 to 10 to even 15 degrees above normal. So very far above normal temperatures. Most areas in the 80s and 90s here that are in this red region. So that's when we get in a temperature pattern like this is when September can just feel like August and July. There is no difference. We're only 1 month away from those months anyway. Well, not those months, but August. And August is still pretty much at your peak heat. We don't see any decrease in the average temperature for the most part too much. So we get this extension of summer sometimes when we get in a pattern like this, because we're so close to that summertime temperature average. We're only a little bit lower. So when you get the above normal temperatures, it takes you back to summer-like patterns. Now let's take this towards the 16th. And as you can see, the northwest is cooling significantly. This is a negative PNA setting up, and this is kind of counterproductive if you want colder air in the eastern United States. This is the one catalyst, I think, right now that is causing these warmer than normal conditions in the east. And I think it's going to be the one catalyst that also takes us back to the colder temperature in the east as well, believe it or not. So that has kind of been driving the pattern, not only throughout this time period, but also a lot of the summer as well. It's been the main catalyst. Very, very interesting. The AO and NAO have not really played a huge role in much of anything. Let's go ahead and take this towards the 17th. And as you see, things are actually getting warmer before they get cooler. So very interesting. And by the time we reach the 18th, it gets even hotter here in the eastern and central United States. Widespread reds, which is 10 to 15 degrees above normal, with a negative PNA set up out west, as you can see, cold along the west coast. Here is our AO chart, and as you can see, it's a little bit positive right now, but it's going to just hover right around that average line. It might pop a tiny bit negative, but not enough to make a huge difference. If this one in the long range does go negative, it'll play a bit more of a role. NAO here, which does the same thing again in the negative phase of both the AO and the NAO, encourages colder air for the eastern and central United States and the western United States, pretty much anywhere. Wherever the PNA is set up, the PNA really controls everything, actually. Most people pay attention to the AO and the NAO, but the PNA really, really drives the pattern, in my opinion. So let's take a look at that PNA. Very negative, which again means warmer air out east here, east central United States. And that's what we've been seeing, and we're in a negative, and that's what we're expected to continue to see because we will be in a negative. But as you can see, as we reach the middle portion to the late portion of that, it drives in the positive direction after we reach about the 22nd, 23rd, 24th, 25th. It's reaching neutral, and that control line, which is the blue, which is the European ensemble control, does take it positive eventually. A neutral is much better than a negative, though, and that is what the mean average is. So what we're going to do is we're going to move on. We're going to move on towards our CFS model and see when this cooldown occurs. So we're just going to take this in 5-day increments. Here's the 14th through the 19th, warm in the east. Again, that PNA has not switched yet. We do see that cold out west, and it actually gets worse before it gets better. The 19th through the 24th, that PNA is further negative, and that east is even warmer. But by the time we reach the 24th through the 29th, that switch happens. That PNA full switch happens. And we see very cold air move into the eastern and central United States, and very warm temperatures reach the western United States. Super interesting, and this is finally that pattern switch that we will, by this point, have been waiting for probably, because it'll be warm for so long. Now, one thing I will mention is this is a very long-range, very low-confidence outlook here. Mostly, I know that people are looking forward to the cold, a lot of us, so I look forward to that, and I look for pattern signs that could happen to tell you guys signs that it could happen. And this is an example of that, but that does not mean that it will happen. This is a long-range, 5-day outlook according to a model, and this one goes pretty far. And oftentimes this model is right, oftentimes it's wrong. Obviously, it's right more than it's wrong. Otherwise, nobody would use the model, but it's not very far apart from being, it's nearly 50-50. I think it's a little bit more right than it is, wrong. Now, there's reason to think that this could happen because of that PNA switching towards neutral and positive, so that's the one thing I will say. That's what's leading me to be a bit confident in this. I said this when I first took a look at this a few days ago in a video. We're just updating you guys on the same topic here. By the time we reach the 29th through the 4th of October, we stay in a very similar pattern. Positive PNA out west, very cold in the eastern half of the country. And then by the time we reach about the 4th through the 9th, you can see it gets cold in the southern United States and then warm in the northern United States. So we reach a very interesting pattern by this point, and I think this cooldown could really evolve. But the one thing that stays true is this model does call for a pretty persistent and pretty long-term cooldown towards the end of its model run. Anyway, for today's confidence tab, because of the things I just mentioned a moment ago, we're at a 2 out of 6 overall, and this could go up if we get closer and get more models on board. For today's comment of the day, I asked you guys, how much rainfall do you think we could possibly see with then Tropical Storm Nicholas? Now we know it became a hurricane before reaching Texas. And Pato Swag, I think that's how you say your name, said 10 to 15 inches of rainfall, and I certainly agree. We haven't gotten the total numbers there, but that is pretty much what my thinking was. For today's patron highlight of the day, I want to thank you all for supporting the channel, but especially our Platinum patrons, John Benbeck, James Wade, Dovey Nagel, Larry the Pan, and Donna Carnes, alongside our Diamond patrons, Bill Roberts, Marcus Connolly, Noah Harley, Michael Codalessa, Catbite, Charles Stinnett, Cindy Klein, Mark J., Luke Flago, Gary, Sean Colisi, Dwight Phelan, and Stephen Crenenthal. If you'd like to be a part of this very exciting Patreon page end screen of the day, you can do so by joining our very awesome Patreon page in the description and in the pinned comments down below. I'd also like to thank our channel members, Hair Farms 1, Catbite, Stephen Fan, and Jeremy Cox. This one will be located next to that subscribe button if you are interested in joining. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Be sure to smash that like button, leave a comment down below, and subscribe for more weather-related content. I'll see you guys in the next video.